Now, I'm married to a marvelous woman named Jenilyn, and one of the things that happens as a trauma survivor is that my body at times feels 2, 3, 5 years old, right? So something's happening, and I look out through 2 to 5-year-old eyes, and it looks really big through those eyes. And I don't want to breathe because the pain feels very big in my imagination. And I don't want to face it, and I don't want to talk, and I don't want to feel it. I don't want to do anything. Maybe I just want to lay in bed. Maybe I just want to avoid, watch Netflix just to avoid, do this. I don't want to think. I don't want to feel, right? Because everything's big to a small part. And in a culture that traumatizes infants and doesn't heal the trauma, that's the emotional ages that come up sometimes. Sometimes you just wake up. I feel terrified, small, and 3 years old. And just like at that time, there's no parent there. There's no one going to take care of me. What if this happens? What if so-and-so is mad at me? I don't know what to do, right? Well, this is where a partner that knows how to love themselves and others, that is trauma literate, that understands inner ages. We talk about it all the time in our relationship. I ask her multiple times a day, how old are you, Jen? How old is that? Oh, it's 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. How's your 7-year-old doing? Having a great time? 7-year-olds can be incredibly playful. And so I say, hey, Jen, I feel 2 to 5 years old and I'm terrified. Well, she may say nothing or just go on, and I say, wait a minute, I don't feel happy. My 2-year-old, my 5-year-old feels abandoned. I just said I'm scared. I want a mom, right? I want someone big who knows something because I feel very small right now. Well, then she'll come over and hold me or whatever. And she'll say, what's wrong? And I'll say, well, there's this and there's that and there's this and there's that. And what if this happens and that happens? And, it's so big to a 2-year-old to a 5-year-old. Which is, thank you for your feelings. But the older part of me listening to all of that grasps it, understands, and starts to engage as well, starts to breathe, starts to come in my body again. And now it's not just all my little one, and it's not just all my adult either. Now there's 2 adults looking at it. And I want you to do this. Or maybe it's stuck in my leg and I ask my wife to, press hard on my thigh. Oh, yes, there's so much fear there. Release that fear through tension. Or I'll go to a masseuse and spend a few hours doing, pressure and release, etc. Now I've got my adult back. Now I've got my present moment. Because everything shared with love and empathy is about 1/3 of the size as it was when it was there alone. And one of the most damaging aspects in unhealthy romantic relationships is contemptuous chauvinism. So chauvinism says that everything feminine is demeaning and everything masculine is superior. And because thoughts are masculine and feelings are feminine, in this delusion, anyone who's feeling things is feminine, and thus to be treated with contempt, with eye-rolling, with patronizing, with all kinds of stuff. So anyone feeling anything is feminine, but also children are more feminine than adolescents and grown-ups. And so within this same chauvinism, teenagers who are chauvinistic, they don't want to have anything to do with little kids, right? Well, it is very chauvinistic because they wouldn't exist if they hadn't gone through that stage. It is a stage. And if you say that, for example, a seedling is worthless, but the oak tree is valuable, well, that's not very scientific, because you don't get oak trees without seedling trees. You don't get giant trees without small trees. You don't get strong individuals without helpless children. So if helpless children are dumb and bad and uncool, but what they grow into is highly desirable, you've got an irrational level of insanity that is insanely insane, meaning it's too dumb to understand that it's dumb. Well, that's not a very good partner to have in this type of terrain. So having someone who acknowledges, wow, I love the powerful man that you are. I love the hero you are in my life and in this way and in this way and this way. And your scared little boy had to grow into that hero. And my nurturing and care and listening participates in that blossoming. You become an adult. You become heroic. You become magnificent through the care and the love of the smallest parts within. And so, speaking truthfully and candidly about every fear and why it's there, with someone who cares, with someone who loves, my wife is way better than a therapist, because she's not there for the money. She's there because she cares, and she's there because she wants to be there. And it doesn't cut off at 50 minutes. It cuts off at 10 minutes and 20 minutes and an hour and a half. It cuts off when the blossoming occurs, when the regressed fear awakens up into the older world and becomes a grown-up again. And one small pocket of the psyche that was regressed and was small has now blossomed and become big, can now create reality as an adult.